Gannon here, back with another segment of the Captain's Chair. Didn't really feel like putting on the Captain's jacket tonight. I'm kind of in a hurry, but damn, I'm releasing this really late. I think this episode came out about like 3 or 4 days ago. That's just me and like life shit popping up, but it's whatever. We're finally getting to it, and I'm gonna hustle on the other reviews for future episodes of Star Trek Picard. But anyways, guys, finally, this is kind of special to me, actually. This is the first time that I'm actually like a Trek fan. I'm conscious of Trek. I've seen like a majority of it, and I'm actually here for a premiere of a new Trek series. That's like kind of insane to me. It's kind of cool. Wow, I actually thought the first episode of Star Trek Picard was great. I thought it was good. I don't really have any complaints. I have one minor criticism. It's actually not so minor. I'm actually kind of a little bit upset that they did this. I watched a really good video today by a YouTuber. This is the first time I've ever seen one of their videos, EC Henry, and it was titled Picard: Why Use Discovery Ships? And at first I was like, oh man, here's another fucking Star Trek boomer coming to complain about Discovery. But no, guys, as it turns out, in this Star Trek Picard first episode, there was plenty of times where they used like shuttles that were seen in Discovery. You know, a show that in the Star Trek timeline, even to their standards, is supposed to be happening like 100+ years before Star Trek Picard. So it's very strange to me why they would have like Discovery-esque like shuttles. Like these shuttles were the same asset that was taken from Discovery. Not to mention, I've recently watched the short Trek Children of Mars, which was like actually a bad short trek, by the way. Other than the tie-up with Star Trek Picard, there wasn't really anything of substance there. It was just these two female children who, for whatever reason, I don't know if I just wasn't paying attention or something, but they were just bitches to each other. And yeah, no, these two, like there's alien girl and then there was this ginger-headed girl, and they both had parents that were working on the Utopia Planation shipyards. And for some reason, these two females, like, I don't know, it wasn't really implied that they had known each other previously or something, or if they had some kind of quarrel or beef. They were just being bitches to each other the whole short trek for no reason. And then at the end, you just kind of see Mars getting blown up, and it's kind of implied that both their parents are dead. I don't know if Mars was like totally destroyed or if there was any survivors or if there's any chance of their parents being alive, but that short trek was meant to be like a Star Trek Picard tie-in. Now, something that is really bothering me, guys, now you have to understand, I've not gotten through Voyager yet, so that means that there is something else on my list that I've been procrastinating till the very end. I wanted to get through all the Trek shows before I watched all the Trek movies. I think the only Next Generation movie that I've seen is First Contact, and out of all the Star Trek movies I've seen so far, it is the best one I've seen. I don't think I'm gonna see another Star Trek movie that's gonna top it. Oh yeah, and another thing, in that short trek, you see that they also used like a shipyard hangar that was totally like a copied asset from Discovery. So yeah, no, I think it is kind of a fair criticism that they are being innately lazy with that. I don't know why you're using assets from a show that takes place like over 100 years prior to this one. So it does kind of say like, CBS is being a little bit lazy right there. But on to the review of the actual episode. Basically, the premise of this whole season, I guess, seems that the route Star Trek is going in now is that we have shorter seasons, and that the season as a whole has some kind of overlapping theme. In the first season of Star Trek Discovery, it was kind of being loyal to Starfleet's values, but it seems like the theme in this season of Star Trek Picard is going to definitely be focused on the ethics of synthetic life forms and like what kind of rights they have. The synthetics have kind of failed them in the past, because after the destruction of Romulus, you know, I know that like you see Romulus getting destroyed in the 2009 Star Trek, J.J. Abrams Star Trek, which I have also not seen, so please be patient with me. I gotta get caught up on all this other shit. But you know, I get the gist of it. You see the Romulan star going supernova and the home planet of the Romulan Star Empire being destroyed. In Star Trek Picard, you learn that basically Picard was the one who was solely responsible for like this whole rescue mission of these millions and millions and millions of Romulan refugees. But just as he was doing that, the Utopia Planation shipyards were attacked by synthetics, and of course I don't really know a lot of the context of this because I haven't seen Star Trek Nemesis. I do know that Data dies in the end of Star Trek Nemesis and everything. I've known that for a while now, but I don't understand the actual context surrounding the events. With this huge attack on Mars and with like a bunch of people dying there, and also it's like the shipyards being destroyed, so obviously that's going to be like a huge punch to the gut to the Federation, and they're going to be like, oh, well, we can't really help the Romulans, you know, they've always been kind of shady assholes to us, so we're gonna pull out, we're just going to abandon all of our morals and ethics and not help them in their time of need because we just suddenly got cold feet. And Picard was like, no, 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 that's just bullshit. And then we have this awesome scene. This is the best scene of the episode, by the way. This provocative reporter is trying to get something out of Picard, trying to get him to say or slip up about something concerning this series of events. They told him before the interview, like, oh, don't press him on these things, but she did it anyway because she thinks she's being like this awesome journalist or whatever. Picard puts her in her place really quick and gives her an awesome speech because it's no longer Starfleet. Wow, that was really, really powerful. I don't understand people's beef with Picard not having like a life of luxury and his resignation from Starfleet, and like this is totally beyond his character or something. When in the final episode of Next Generation, you see that in alternate timelines, Picard doesn't usually end up with the most luxurious future. So I don't see why it's inappropriate for Picard to want to resign from Starfleet. But anyways, I'm getting super distracted and off topic. The main premise of this season, of course, is like, okay, we have Data's daughters who were created by fractal neuronic cloning, which is basically taking a bit of an android's DNA, or basically what makes them them, part of their programming, so to speak, and you're able to like splice that, and in an early iteration of this, a character, an elusive character known as Dr. Bruce Maddox, who I'm pretty sure is the father or the father figurehead of both of Data's daughters, Daj and Soji. Daj and Soji are apparently like a new form of synthetic where they're made of like flesh and blood, but maybe on the inside there we got some like, I don't know, a central processing unit, a motherboard, I don't know. Daj is just chilling with her boyfriend, who by the way is the same race as that princess girl from Star Trek Discovery, so they're making like clear references to Discovery in this series, which I appreciate. I definitely think that's really cool. Then like a Romulan task force is after her ass, so she in her little android human brain is like, oh, well, I have to find Picard for some reason. So she seeks out Picard, explains her situation. Picard learns that she's Data's daughter because he goes to the Starfleet archives and retrieves this painting titled Daughter that somehow, like through some spontaneous means, like got finished in the archive or something. I don't really understand that. I mean, even for a sci-fi, like I know you're having dreams, Picard, and everybody's got some like energy driving towards this fate, but like how does a painting just like get finished like that? Did Data put on some invisible paint that he set to carbon date for this exact day? Like I don't understand it fully. But regardless of that little criticism or critique, eventually they get into another altercation with a Romulan task force, and then Daj is murdered. This is kind of a shocker to probably everybody watching because she was set up to be kind of an important character, but then you learn shortly after that that it doesn't matter at all because she has a twin sister named Soji who, cut over to her, she's on the Borg cube. Now it seems that the Borg cube is some sort of, maybe this is what people are thinking, like gifted to the Romulans by Hugh and whatever organization he's a part of now. So it seems like maybe Hugh's organization is letting the Romulans use that Borg cube as like a home base type thing, and I sense them trying to make it sort of a Death Star appeal. People love huge giant space stations in sci-fi, even though it is a ship now I think retrofitted to become a space station. But go over to the Borg cube, you meet the other daughter who is named Soji, and then you're also introduced to that one character who people aren't sure whether he's like Vulcan or Romulan, but I think it's pretty clear to me that that guy's gotta be Romulan, right? I mean, I know it's hard to tell the difference between the two, but there was some edgy emo Romulan guy there who was talking with her, and I don't remember his name for the life of me, I'm sorry. I don't think anybody really cares anyways, we're all just excited to see the Romulan Legolas. Wow, the Romulan Legolas looks really cool, guys. He's gonna be a cool character for sure, and I just want to see somebody fuck somebody up with a sword. Yeah, but other than that, I think I got everything out of the way. Synopsis, criticisms, So what are some things I liked about the episode? Oh yeah, I think I already explained the part with the reporter. I loved that scene. It just made me think that, well, this is really the Picard that we know and love, and he's just in a new Trek series. I enjoyed the episode. I have really no complaints other than the fact that they're really being lazy with the Discovery assets. I mean, come on, guys. It's not even really like a canonical issue to me or anything. It's just like laziness that breaks immersion. Just like redesign the shuttle a little bit. The school bus in the Children of Mars episode was even just like a redesigned Discovery shuttle. Some cool things to note though, apparently at the end of Star Trek Nemesis, they have like another like bootleg, like discount android. I guess that's just all retconned. Like they kind of abandoned all that stuff. And now we're focusing really on the idea of possibly reviving Data via interaction with his daughters. The Romulans really don't want Picard or anybody to learn about Data's daughters or their existence so much that they're even willing to kill them. So I'm guessing that the Romulans have huge beef with synthetics because the synthetics, or the androids, are solely responsible for probably the deaths of a lot of Romulans. I bet a lot more Romulans could have, you know, actually evacuated if not for the synths attacking the Utopia Planation shipyards, so I bet the Romulans are like super pissed off at them for that. And then also the Romulans are probably salty at the Federation for low-key abandoning them. But yep, that's all I have to say about the first episode, guys. Let me know what you thought about it down below. I will be doing reviews for the other episodes of Star Trek Picard and hopefully just future episodes of Trek in general. So if you enjoyed this, guys, please slap the like button. Please always leave comments. You know I love reading those things. And with that, guys, I'm gonna have to see you in the next one.